Right, just a little recap. This is part 2 video for doing this trailer hitch, because today we're going to do the wiring. It's quite straightforward to do this kit, but the most difficult bit was this bit, because we had to bolt it onto a pre-TD5 rear chassis. If you see what I mean, the rear cross member here is 1991, and if you remember, the hitches were held on with nuts and bolts. Well, on the TD5 there are captive nuts, so we had to make a plate which I welded on inside with the captive nuts on the inside of the chassis. So I already thought about that, but what I didn't realise was the bolts were too short, so I had to buy new bolts and bits and pieces. But after that it all lined up very well. So today what we're going to do is put this kit on, and this is a wiring kit. It's about 20 bucks. It's kind of cheap, but it's inconvenient, if you see what I mean. And it's made of reasonably heavy gauge wire. The reason for that is, in America land, or North America land, they have a crazy system, whereas they don't use orange flashes on the back of the car. They flash the brake light as an indicator. How primitive is that? I mean, it's just crazy, isn't it? I mean, you can follow cars here and sometimes with trailers on and the bloody lights don't work, and you can't see anything. It's terrible. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that. I can't change the world on my own. But what happens is, the American lighting system has only 4 wires on it. We've got a white as a ground, we've got black as a tail, we've got left stop and turn as a yellow, and right stop and turn as a green, you can see here. But we have to connect it to a 5-wire system, because we got the better system. Well, I say we, in Europe, has got the better system. So we have to buy this funky gizmo box here that splits. So you can't just put a trailer plug on. And these have got to be the most pathetic trailer plugs in the cosmos. You know, Americans didn't go to the moon, eh? They can't have done with electrical engineering like this. These are the most pathetic bullet connectors you have ever seen. Look, can you see? Let me show you. Can you see inside? They're a pressed piece of tin. They are always corroding. We're going to put some crown rust proofing on that, so there's a drinking game, there's the crown rust proofing. Oops, said it again. Just to try and prevent any rust, because they've got this little sort of arse-half cover, you know, half-arse cover, can't even say that right, that covers it in, but keeps the water in. Can't win, can you? It's a crazy system. And of course, there are different adapters to go onto this, because you can guarantee, if you go and borrow a trailer, the towing ball will be different and the connector will be different because somebody's put something else on. On my personal trailers, I always make the 7-pin push-in plugs, so nobody's going to nick my trailers, because it wouldn't work on anything. So that's what we're going to do. So this involves getting into the harness on the chassis. Now, I had a bit of forethought, and I always put my chassis wire in. I make a new chassis wire from front to back. I don't use the original Land Rover one if I can help it, because it might be a bit chewy. But I get, I think it's about 12 core cable, and run it front to back. So you've got a few more extra wires in there. And I've got a box underneath, a junction box. So I open the junction box, and we're going to put this on. Alright, I'll get on with it. Don't rush me. So here we are inside the junction box, and all I've got is a big piece of chocolate box. It's got a bit of damp in it from somewhere, so I think a little bit of drink up crown rust proofing in there will stop that. But I wanted to keep it dry, because I knew that one day I was going to put extra wiring in. So access is quite good, and people think, oh, it gets wet by the wheels. It doesn't really. I think it gets wet through these glands here. Now I've got another gland that I'm going to put round these wires. You know, that goes, yeah, I've missed that one out just for ease of doing it. But this time I'm going to put some heat shrink round to get it nice and tight, and then put the gland on. And I think that might have been my problem on there. It gets a little bit of water in, but I might just, you know, with these waterproof boxes, allegedly, drill a little hole in the bottom to let any damp out, just in case, because that's had damp in it. But I'll spray those connectors and that'll be fine. Now, on here you can see, there's the green and white, so that's the right light. Green and purple, that's the brake light. That's the night light. And green and red, where's green and red? Green and brown, has to be this one here. Yeah, there you go. So all I've got to do is join those wires up. Let's do that and we'll come back. So I've got the wires wired up, but what I've done is I've just sort of rigged up a couple of flashes. You can't quite see this one here, but wait a minute, see if I can move it further forward. Yeah. So that represents a trailer. All they have is two bulbs on the back, you know, like the stop tail bulb. I just want to show you how pathetic they are. Here we go. So first of all, I'm going to try the flashes left and right. That side working? Yep. That's all right, isn't it? Lovely. And that side's working? Correct. But watch what happens when I put the night lights on. The tail lights and what have you. See? See what I mean? It hardly makes a difference. Whereas you look at something like this with a decent sized flasher on, look at that. It sucks current out of the system when you put your side lights on. I could never understand why it's such a bad idea. Look at it. Now I thought at first I had the wires on the wrong way around, but I haven't. It works. That's how it works. Never went to the moon. They can't have done, not with shonky wiring. Anyway, that's it. All I've got to do now is box that up and we're done. It looked quite nice under the box under there. I boxed it up already. But I was just playing around with something so I could show you what the difference is between something that's nice and positive and clear against something like this. It's just pathetic. I mean, maybe they're all right in the dark, but that would be the same with the brake. If you press the brake, that would be the same if you got your night lights on. It does look like they're on the wrong way around, but because it goes through that adapter, it makes it all go funny. So I'm going to wrap that video up now. Ah, it's cold today. I don't know about you. How is it now? Ah, damn it, wait a minute, let me get this right. Yeah. It's minus 16 outside, but the real feel is minus 28 because of the wind. By God, when I got up this morning it was minus 32 with the wind. It was so cold I nearly put my hat on. Anyway, let's wrap this up. I can't do any more to it than that. That's it, it's pathetic. Like, that's why I change all my trailers and things like that to good old European or British type wiring standard to match this car. Not a problem. But what can we do? See ya.